Let's talk about global RFEM 6 and Tekla Structures direct link. So how to set up the link. 3 steps. First of all, you need to activate web services in RFEM 6. Let's do it together. On the top ribbon, you can see options, program options. You scroll down and here it is. You need to tick this button here and you're good to go. Now let's close RFEM 6 and let's move on to the second step. Install the plugin found in program files. Program files, global, RFEM 6.04, tools, Tekla add-in, setup. Next, let's choose all of them. Next. There you go. The link is installed. Now we need to see whether it appears in Tekla Structures. Now let's look at the top ribbon. As you can see, there is nothing about global. So what do? You need to manually add it to the ribbon. The problem is that, as you can see, I'm using Finnish environment and some Finnish role. The ribbon is defined within the role file, so global developers might not know which role I am using, so they do not know how to automatically install the ribbon for me. So in this case, I'm going to do it manually. For that, I will go to Settings, Ribbon. Let's go to the tab button and let's add the global ribbon manually. Add tab. Let's go back to the simple button. Let's search for global buttons. Here you can see we have 3 of them. First, the conversion tables. I will use the scalable icon and I will drag and drop it into the correct spot. For export to RFEM, I will use the large icon. Again, drag and drop. And for import to RFEM, again, drag and drop. And let's close the ribbon editor. And now you can see that I have the buttons available for me to use. Let's try out the export functionality. As you can see, there are 2 options. We can export the physical model or the analytical model. We haven't actually made an analytical model, so let's try out the physical one. I would not press OK right now because it will export the whole model and it will take a little bit of time, but I will show you the result. And the result is here. As you can see, there's lots of elements. The export took about 3 minutes in this case, but it must be confusing as to what is happening here because there is too many elements. The reason is, if I clear the filter in Tekla Structures, then we can see what really happened. All of this went over to RFEM. Now let's try out the other option with the analytical model. For this, you need to press the Analysis and Design tab and this button here. Let's create a new analytical model. The first row, Analysis Application, does not have to be globalfile.net as it is meant for RFEM 5, but we are talking about RFEM 6. You don't have to change anything else. Okay, now using the part selection, we will choose the elements we want to export. In this case, I would like to calculate this slab, but I also want to know where the supports are. So I will choose also these elements. Let's press add selected objects. And as you can see, now 33 elements have been added to the analytical model. Let's close it. Let's find the export button. And let's try to export the analytical model. So at the moment I have an empty model open here, so this is perfect for the export. As you can see, the application is locked by an external application. And here you go, it was only a few seconds and even the supports came in and all of the openings and everything, so it is very easy to continue with your work from here. Let's use the same model to try out the import functionality. For this I will move these elements to some other position so that they would not overlap in Tekla Structures. Okay, this is good enough. I will go to Tekla Structures and press the import button. Let's choose append to existing model and press OK. And as you can see, the model easily was imported into Tekla Structures, although we can see that some of the openings are missing. They're here for walls, but not for the slab. This is to remind you that the link is still a work in progress, but it is as bad as it will ever be, and it will be improved. That being said, I would still like to do some stress testing. I prepared a model here with I-beams. The one on the right is just a regular one. This one is rotated. This one has an eccentricity in absolute value, and this one is rotated and it has a relative eccentricity. Now let's see how the link handles these kinds of beams. Here you go, here are the beams, and as you can see the rotations work, but sadly the eccentricities do not. This will be fixed in the future. But what if I do it the other way around? Let's see what happens then. I will copy these beams to another location. Let's try the eccentricities again. I will need to create the analytical model for these beams because I do not want to export the whole model. I will create a new one. Using the part selection, I will select these and add it to the set. Okay, I'm good to go. Now, when I try to export the analytical model, it will ask from me which one of the models I would like to export. And here we go. Again, as you can see, the rotations worked, but not really the eccentricities. Of course, there is a lot more to this link and to analytical models in general, but the main idea of this video was to show how to set up the link and how to import or export geometry between these two softwares. I hope I was helpful.